Okay, good morning. So our lesson for today is all about science, okay, which is the mixture and their characteristics. So I will share screen now our lesson. Now let us talk about mixtures and their characteristics. Okay, mixtures and their characteristics. So all the various and wonderful things in the environment are alike in many ways. They are all made up of very tiny particles called atoms. So atoms, these are the very tiny particles in every materials, in every environment. So two or more atoms bound by a chemical bond may form a molecule. Now, when we say molecules, these are very tiny particles which make up matter. So, yan, ang molecules daw bumubuo ng mga maliliit na particles, kaya nabubuo ang isang matter. So, each material has identifiable physical and chemical properties which depend on the characteristics of its molecules. Okay? When matter is made up of only one kind of molecule or the molecule are all alike, it is said to be pure. Okay? However, the molecules which make up common materials you see around are not all alike. Two or more kinds of molecules make them up. So when two or more materials are put together, when mixing two or more materials, a mixture is formed. Now, this lesson talk about mixture and kinds of mixture. So now, what is a mixture? We will talk about that later on. What are the kinds of mixtures? How is a mixture formed? So, another question is, what characteristic does each kind of mixture have? So these are the examples. We have a cup of coffee, sinigang dish, and the clouds. So many of the substances we come in contact every day are mixtures. The air we breathe is a mixture of gases like oxygen and nitrogen. So that is a mixture. The air we breathe is a mixture of oxygen and nitrogen. Even the soil, food, beverages, and many things we use for grooming are made up of two or more mixtures. Now, what do you mean by the word mixture? When we say mixture, it is made up of two or more materials which are put together but not chemically combined. Hindi ito ginagamitan ng chemicals para ma-combine. It is two or more materials which are put together. It can be a combination of elements such as iron, copper, and gold, or compounds such as water, table salt, and sugar, or even both. Pwedeng pareho silang mag-combine. Now, when combined, each material retains or keeps its identifiable and chemical properties. Mixtures come in many forms and phases. So, marami tayong mga forms and phases ng mixtures. Later on, we will talk about the kinds of mixtures, okay? To form mixtures, you simply put two or more materials together by stirring sa paghahalo, shaking sa pag-alog, blending pag ginagamitan natin ng blender, blending, then powdering or pounding o yung paggamit natin ng martilyo, pounding the materials into smaller pieces. So what are the general properties of a mixture? So there are three properties of a mixture. So matter that cannot be classified as an element or compound is usually a mixture. So there are three properties. A mixture has the following properties. The first one, we have the components or materials of a mixture can be easily separated. Ang mga materials daw o yung components ng isang mixture ay madaling ihiwalay. Okay, number 2, the components keep or retain their original properties. Dapat ang mixture daw ay nare-retain ang kanyang original property. Number 3, the proportion of the components is variable or do not have definite ratio. Ang proportion ng material or yung component is variable, pantay, or pwede ring hindi, o hindi pantay yung suka. So let's have an example. A bowl of vegetable soup may have more vegetables than the chicken or noodles. Yung isang bowl ng vegetable soup, pwedeng marami siyang gulay pero konti lang ang laman na manok or yung chicken or yung noodles, depending on the preparation done. Then the milk and fruit juices you drink to keep you healthy and strong are also mixtures. Yan, mga gatas tsaka fruit juices are also mixtures. So there are two types of mixtures. So we have here, a mixture can be homogeneous and heterogeneous. Okay? Let us discuss first homogeneous. A homogeneous or uniform mixture looks the same throughout. Homo, it means the same. Okay, it means same. The individual components of the mixture are not recognizable since the particles are too small to see and appear uniform. So which means ang homogeneous ay same mixture but they are not recognizable. Hindi natin nakikita yung particles. Hindi natin nakikita ng dalawang mata natin yung mga particles and appear uniform. Okay? All the materials or components are evenly distributed. Nag-distribute na yung kanyang materials throughout the mixture. Every part of the mixture has the same properties or uniform composition and comes in one phase only. It appears to be made of one substance or material only and exists either as solid, liquid, or gas. So here's the examples of homogeneous mixture. We have here salt, water, air, yung blood, baking powder, and rubbing alcohol. A heterogeneous that is the second type of mixture. Heterogeneous or non-uniform mixture has a components which can be seen. Okay, wait lang. Which can be seen. Dito natin ilagay ito. Okay. Which can be seen. Okay, heterogeneous or non-uniform mixture has components which can be seen since there are two or more phases present. Okay, meron siyang dalawa or mahigit pang phases ang present dyan sa heterogeneous. It has more than one color or type of material which are not evenly distributed. Hindi siya na-distribute in mixtures and can usually be separated easily. Kung kanina ang homo, hindi siya nase-separate, yung heterogeneous nase-separate siya at yung heterogeneous ay nakikita yung kanyang nakikita siya, nare-recognize siya at malaki. It is a large enough to be seen and recognized. Okay? The components in a heterogeneous mixture are large enough to be seen and recognized. Hetero, it means different. So there are some examples of heterogeneous mixture. We have here pizza. Why? Bakit pizza? Because there's a lot of ingredients in pizza. Naka-distribute na yan. Naka-distribute na yung ingredients ng pizza. Madali natin recognize. Chocolate chip din, cookies, sand, soil, textile fibers on a cloth, and cereals in a bowl. Next. Okay, so let's go now to liquid-solid mixture. In liquid-solid mixture, there can be a solution or suspension. Some solids do not dissolve at all in any liquid, while some solid materials seem to disappear in the liquid when mixed. Okay, ulitin ko. Some solids, yung ibang mga solid na materials, hindi nadidissolve sa kahit na anong liquid. Pero mayroon mga solid materials na madaling mawala kapag hinalo natin sa liquid. Okay? So there are two. We have here solution and suspension. But first, let us discuss solution. A solution is a homogeneous mixture where one of the materials dissolves in the other. Okay, solution, ito ay homogeneous. Pag sinabing homogeneous, they cannot recognize it. They cannot be seen. Okay? In any solution, there is always a solute and a solvent. So in solution, there are two. We have solute and solvent. Ano ba yung dalawang yon? What are these two words? The solute is the material being dissolved. Ito yung material na na-dissolve. Being dissolved, na-dissolve na siya. Yung material na na-dissolve. And is also lesser in quantity. The solvent is greater in quantity and dissolves the solute. Ito yung nagpa-dissolve dun sa solute natin. So, yung solvent siya yung nagpa-dissolve dun sa solute, and then solute, yan yung material na na-dissolve. Okay? So, powdered sugar mixed in water is an example of solution. The molecules of sugar spread out even between the molecules of water. Sige, subukan natin maglagay ng asukal sa tubig. Pag nilagay nyo yung asukal dun sa tubig, mapapansin nyo na wala yung butil or yung particles ng sugar, okay? They are dissolved, na-dissolved na siya, okay? This is why you cannot see the sugar particles anymore. When a solid material dissolves readily in a solvent, it is said to be soluble. Okay? Soluble na yan. Okay, dito tayo. Taas ulit. Coffee, juice, and even some sports drinks are good examples of solution yan, mga coffee, juice, at mga sports drinks. These are the good examples of solution. Next. Siya malipat. Wait lang. Next natin. Okay, next. Balik tayo ulit dito. Okay, in a solution, particles completely dissolve into the solvent. Some materials dissolve easily while the other materials take some time. So, may mga materials na madaling ma-dissolve, pero yung iba namang mga materials na it takes some time to dissolve. Some solvents can also dissolve solute faster, such as kerosene and thinner. So yan, mga solvents yan kasi gas yan. Kerosene and thinner. Water is considered the universal solvent. Do you know why? So, our universal solvent here is water. Why? Because the temperature of the solvent and amount of solute in the solvent can also affect how well and fast the solvent can dissolve the solute. For example, pag iinom tayo ng kape, di ba? Pag mainit yung tubig, madali nating matunaw yung instant coffee. Okay, madaling matunaw. So, yun. Pero kapag ginamit natin ng malamig na tubig, medyo katamtaman yung lamig ng tubig, at binuhos natin yung instant coffee, yung butil-butil doon ng instant coffee, mamumuo. Okay, mamumuo. Kaya yung sa hot water, tsaka sa cold water, magkaiba yung kanya dahil nga sa temperature. So, the solute and solvent can be in different phases of matter. So, these are the examples. Okay? O, dito ulit tayo. These are the examples. Yan, solid. Yan, so solid, liquid, and gas. Next. Okay, now let's go now to suspension. When we say suspension, is a heterogeneous mixture which has larger solute particles. Malalaki yung kanyang particles. Hetero, ibig sabihin madaling makita yung kanyang mixture. It is a mixture between a liquid and particles of a solid wherein the particles do not dissolve. The particles and the liquid are mixed up so that the particles are dispersed throughout the liquid, looking like as if it is suspended in the liquid. Okay? So the main characteristic of a suspension is that the solid particles will settle and separate over time if left alone. Yun. Ang ating, yan yung suspension. Next, balik tayo dito. Okay, we have here liquid and liquid mixture. Okay, when two liquids such as soy sauce and vinegar are mixed, it forms a solution. They are said to be miscible. Ibig sabihin ng miscible, yun, nahalo na maigi. Okay, nahalo na siya, miscible. Then, but when two liquids do not mix together, like oil and water, they are said to be immiscible. Okay, immiscible, hindi siya nahalo maigi at lumutang. A colloid is an example of immiscible mixture. It is a heterogeneous mixture where very small particles of one material are evenly distributed throughout another substance or materials. The particles of a colloid are larger than the particles in a solution, but smaller than those of a suspension. Thus, a colloid appears similar to a solution, but particles stay suspended or afloat. Ayan na. Na-afloat na yung kanya. Afloat, ibig sabihin lumutang yung kanyang yung material na yun. Yung oil at water, kapag pinagsama mo yan, yun. Lumulutang yung mantika. Hindi siya talaga nag-mix. Lumutang siya. Lumutang yung isang material, which is the oil. Okay? In a colloid, particles do not settle down yan. Hindi siya nag-settle down. Instead, the mixture is cloudy in form, just like oil and water. Colloid particles are so small, they could pass through a filter. These particles could be grains of solid, droplets of liquid, or in the form of bubbles or gas. You can differentiate a colloid from a solution by shining a beam of light through them. It is a colloid when the beam of light forms a straight path called the Tyndall effect, where the particles in a solution are too small to scatter light. So yan, yung Tyndall effect, makikita nyo yan sa mga lightning designers, create visual effects, and set the mood for viewers in concerts using the Tyndall effect on the smoke and streak of lights on the stage. Ayan. Next, balik tayo dito. Okay, next. Next one. So there are different types of colloids. First one, we have emulsion. Ano ba ang emulsion? It is a colloid made up of tiny droplets of liquid. Tiny droplets of liquid na dispersed in another liquid. Examples are butter, yung pinapalaman natin sa tinapay, butter, cream, ointments, and vapor rubs. These are the examples of emulsion. Next, gel. It is a gel-like colloid with very thin solid particles. It has consistent texture and it's a flexible solid like gelatin. So sinabi na yung meaning, jelly-like colloid. Ang examples niyan ay gelatin, jam, and jelly candies. Next, sol. Ano ba ang sol? It is a colloid made up of solid particles dispersed in solid or liquid. Let's say, for example, we have here toothpaste, paint, and ink. Next, aerosol. It is a colloid made up of solid or liquids dispersed in gas. Yan, we have here the smog, smoke, and cloud. And then last one, we have the foam. It is a colloid of gas bubbles dispersed in liquid. So, the following examples are shaving cream, whipping cream, and soap suds. Yung soap suds, kapag naliligo tayo, lumalabas yung parang bula ng sabon. That is what we call the soap suds. Another example, we have here the fire extinguishers na ginagamit ng mga firefighters. Okay, so these are the examples of colloids. So colloids are important. So many of the foods we eat and medicines are colloidal in nature, so that can easily be absorbed by the body tissues. So yung salads daw, kapag walang so salads will not taste kapag daw walang lasa ang salads, kapag walang lasa ang salads kapag walang mayonnaise. So, yon. Ganun din sa fruit salad, kapag walang cream or condensed milk, walang lasa ang fruit salad. Okay? Next, ganun din, kapag walang palaman yung kapag walang butter or cheese, walang palaman yung toasted bread. Importante yan. Then, ice cream or gelatin are your favorite desserts. During summer months or long dry spell, Pag-asa uses colloids to produce artificial rain. Also, kapag nagkaroon ng long dry spell katulad ng El Nino, ang Pag-asa ay gumagamit ng colloids para makagawa ng artificial rain or nagka-cloud seeding sila. A chemical substance which contains oppositely charged particles are sprayed on the clouds. These neutralized particles of water combine to form large water drops which cause clouds to become heavy enough to induce rainfall. Yan ang ginagawa ng Pag-asa. Kapag mainit ang panahon or El Nino, gumagawa sila ng paraan just like the cloud seeding. So, yan. So let us summary about the mixture. So a mixture can be a solution, suspension, or colloid. In a solution, the materials mixed thoroughly and appears as one material. Kapag hinalo do yung dalawang materials na maigi, nag-a-appear na siya as one material. In a suspension, the materials are not even mixed. Kapag suspension naman, yung materials ay hindi masyadong nahalo, not evenly mixed. Okay? In a colloid, the materials do not dissolve but spread throughout a medium. Hindi siya na-dissolve pero nag-i-spread siya. Just like the emulsion, gel, a sol, aerosol, and a foam. Now, let us answer this checkpoint. Write true if the sentence is correct. If not, change the underlined word and write your answer on the blank. Next. Okay, for next one, you are going to fill in the blanks with the correct word or phrase to make the statement true. Okay, last one. Okay, last one. You are going to go. Okay, something for you to do. So you are going to do this activity. So you are going to go to the kitchen and look around the house. Okay? Pwede kayong pumunta sa kitchen or kaya pwedeng lumibot kayo sa inyong bahay. Write down examples of different kinds of mixtures. Classify them as shown below. So meron tayong solution, colloid, and suspension. You are going to classify them. Kung ano yung makikita nyo sa bahay. Yung solution ba siya, colloid ba siya, or suspension. So that's our discussion for today. That is mixtures and their characteristics. Okay, so yan yung ating mixtures and their characteristics.